All right, yeah. Oh, I'm so excited that you're here. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much and for having me.
Oh, it's an honor. And I have first 10 quick fire questions for you.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, number one, it kind of is 3 in 1, but we've got to start with this one. Name, age, and profession, or passion, should I say?
So my name first.
Yes.
It's Jaya Jankert, and my age is 47 years old.
Well, you look like 27.
Yeah. So I was going to say my spiritual age, yeah, something around 27. And my passion, it's all about humans and energies and activation, I would say. Soul activation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Number 2, sweet or savory? I kind of know what you're going to say.
Savory. What's savory?
So savory is like salty, crisp, cheese. Sweet is like chocolate, ice cream.
Oh my God. It's actually both. Mm-hmm. But you know my passion for Lindt chocolate. So I would say sweet.
I was thinking Lindt when I asked the question. Yeah. Lindt balls. For sure. And those of you that don't know, Jaya is in Sweden. And so you have a Lindt shop, don't you, close to you?
Yes, very close.
So jealous about that. All right, number 3, early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Number 4, weights or cardio?
Wow. No, cardio, I would say. With the running, yeah. Cardio.
Yeah. Number 5, 3 things you love.
Oh, I love myself. I love my children. I love you and my closest soul family.
Yeah. Received. I love you too.
I love you.
Number 6, do you have a favorite quote or mantra you would like to share?
Yeah, I have one that I have been with me, has been with me for years. It's actually one step at a time.
Very powerful, very profound.
Yeah.
You know, I imagine in my head now, as you share that, 2 ladders, and one ladder has the prongs like really far apart, and there's a person like trying to jump up to get the first one, but it's too far away. And there's another ladder with like twice as many prongs, but smaller spaced apart. And the other person's like already halfway up, because the one person's still trying to get that big leap, and the other one's taking loads of little steps and they're already halfway to wherever there is, although there's never actually a there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There is.
and like you said, so it's not being too overwhelming, which it could be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, number 7, something that others may consider strange, but that you absolutely love.
Wow. Okay. The spiritual relationship I have with my twin flame. Definitely.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough to know all about that.
So that's, yeah.
I love that. Number 8, 3 things you love about yourself.
Wow. I love the love that I feel inside of me now, and that I also share every day, like all the time. And I love the fact that I have, how could I say, like a courageous spiritual way of digging deeper and deeper.
Yes, like, you do. You like quantum leap.
Yes, the quantum leap. Yeah. And you said 3. So the third one would be that I actually see beauty in every soul, even the ones who might not have the best interests, I would say.
Feel that.
Yeah.
Need more of that perception. I feel like I want to say I also have that perception, but everything is love. Even it's either a cry for love or an act of love.
Yeah. But for you do have it for sure.
Thank you. All right, number 9, if you could be, or maybe you already have been in one of your past lives, a mythical creature, what would it be and why? Or an animal, Either or.
Oh, when it comes to, like, I know for sure that I've been a goddess, like from from India, and which is called Goddess Durga. She is very, very big and very powerful in one of my past lives. But in terms of, and she's the mother of cosmic and universe. So, but that's just only one part. So I would say in terms of animals, I also have this, like, I always resonated with the tiger and the protection of my family, my children, which is also like all the children on this planet. So it's not only my children, but it's, what comes up.
Do you have a tattoo of a tiger, or have I dreamt?
No, not yet.
I might have, you either have told me or I've had a reminiscent. No, that's in the past. I've had a premonition or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's because you're wearing leopard print, but who knows? I feel that for you, the tiger.
It might be one then. And the snake, and the snake as well.
Well, when I come to Sweden, how about we go and have one together of a tiger?
I love that. Yes.
Okay. I'm so down for that.
Yeah.
Excited. All right. And the last one, imagine that let's say you've gone 50 years into the future.
Yeah.
What are you most proud of looking back over the life that you've not yet lived?
Oh, the fact that I've been able to be part of so many humans' lives in terms of activated their souls, so they could stand in their power and feel completely like themselves and from love with him. I'm just a guide. Yeah. So
there's no greater gift than that, is there, that you can give to
not just a guide, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Like, I'm guiding them to activate themselves. That's basically, yeah.
I was listening to, I've already listened to this book before, and I'm sure you've read it, but I'm listening to it again, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah, I haven't actually read it yet.
You're going to absolutely love it. And as usual, every time you listen or read a book, when you've grown on your spiritual evolution, you hear different things the second time through.
Yeah.
And then this morning I was listening on my walk, and he said, and I probably won't say it as well as he does, and I thought of you and I. So he said, imagine a log fire that's burning brightly and strongly.
Yeah.
And then imagine a fire next to that that's only just smoldering. So it's like just about to go out, but there's like a little flame there.
Yes.
The little flame fire is like what most people, unfortunately, how they live in the world, that's like their fire within them is just literally just there.
Yeah.
And then you and I, the work that we do, we're that blazing fire. And then what happens when you put both fires together, it's the same fire that lights up that other fire. And then when you then separate the fires, they both have a blazing fire.
Yeah, love that.
I was like, wow, so it's the same fire between all fires, but one's burning brightly, and then it actually just lights the other one up, but they already have it within them. They just need I think we're the burning fire. Does that kind of make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I also think, like, in terms of that since this is my belief that we are all one.
Yes.
So, and energy is everything. So, I mean, that makes sense. And you also know when you activate someone else and help them, guide them, like you've done so graceful with me during 3 months now. I mean, I activate someone else activates someone else. Like, it's this ripple effect. That's why you should never, ever put someone on pedestal. You say pedestal?
Pedestal, absolutely. Yeah. Because we are all one. I fully believe that. And, we're born naked, we die naked.
Yeah.
Well, probably don't die naked, but you know what the context is there. We're born with nothing, we die with nothing, because we can't take anything with us, and we never truly die anyway. My listeners may have heard me say these kind of woo-woo things as we go along, as I've put snippets of these in previous episodes, but just FYI, I am gonna be fully myself and fully released with Jaya. So if it's too
Yeah.
spiritual for you, it's no problem. Just listen with an open heart and an open mind and see what happens within you. It's less of a mind thing and it's more of a feeling activation thing, isn't it, Jaya?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like you said, you take what resonates with you. Oh, how could you say like how much you have grown from within?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, you're ready. I mean, we know, you and me know the work we've done these 3 months.
Okay. So share a bit about your story, Jaya. So first of all, let's just briefly touch on like why you came to me for, I say coaching, but it was obviously with you and I, it's more of like a spiritual guide.
Yes.
So how did you and why did you come together?
I mean, I known you for a while. We met in a container together, and I could immediately feel that there was so much love and light from within you. Like you are love and light. For me, you're the source of that. And at the time, I was at one place and you were in your journey, but I kind of knew subconsciously that we were going to work together. So when I reached out to you, I knew I had been looking for, I would say, spiritual guidance, like from calling for me. And for me, the universe guides me in the right direction to the people who are here to mentoring me. That's how I see it. So when you and I had the conversation, I mean, it was about, I didn't feel aligned with my body. I have gained weight. I knew more and more that I was an emotional eater. I haven't even heard that expression before, but it kind of, to be honest. So when we talked, I remember where I was walking and everything when we had the first call, and the things you said, like also, okay, I would say this, you could meet me exactly where I and my soul, like not I, but my soul and heart wanted to be recognized and met. Boom, like that. So I knew it's her. Then I didn't know the journey.
Yeah, isn't it interesting how, and this is often the case with quite a lot of my clients, they come to me with, you know, a question or a quote in quotes problem around food and body.
Yeah.
And then when we really start to coach and to guide, we probably talk about food once, 2 times, maybe. I mean, everyone's different, because then we really get to the root of all of it.
Yeah.
We go there, but you have to be willing, and you are more than willing. And like, you know, you shared at the beginning, I have never met anyone in my whole life that is, number one, willing to visit all of the trauma that you've experienced.
Yeah.
Completely willing and ready for it. I've never met anyone who expresses their emotion as much as you in such a beautiful way, because in order to connect to the spirit body, that is through the emotional body. The mental body is connected to the physical body. I mean, we're all connected, but you cannot access the spirituality until you go there with your emotions, because it's so connected, and you go there. And then number 3, you not only are willing, you not only go there, you like quantum leap, like you do months of healing in like days. It's just like, it like mind-blowing. And I've cried so many times, tears of gratitude and joy, like when we spoke and when we've and I feel teary now when we've exchanged messages, because I'm just so proud of the woman that you are, the woman that you've chose to be as you've been here, and what you're doing for yourself and for the world. So it's been an honor.
I would also say, like, the way you never ever, Victoria, put yourself higher than anyone else, and that's rare. It is. I mean, you say coach, so I say coach now, but for me, you're always like my spiritual guidance. But it's very rare, and it's so necessary. And that's also for me. I could never be coached or guided with just anyone. I could say it like that, because like you say, my quantum leaps is so fast. So you hold so I don't know how to say it, but the space you are holding in, and you know, all the emotion and the roller coaster, because that comes with it.
Yeah.
Since my growth has been so, or healing, I would say, very fast. And that's my mission. That's why. And you know it. You always been there holding my space, you're holding your space for me to grow and heal and be in that, painful emotions that have to let go. And I think that's your superpower. That for me, that's your superpower.
Yeah, I feel the same. And thank you so much for that reflection. You know, it's took a while for me to let go of the, you know, I don't know if you had this when you were younger, and I experienced this, and then I was like, I had an unconscious resistance to quote loving myself, because people would say, oh, she loves herself, as if it's like a bad thing. And yes, they may have been referring to arrogance, which is of course not self-love, but it's took a while for me to really own the gifts that I've been given, and to be like, yeah, I do hold that sacred space, and yeah, I can meet you where you're at, and yeah, that is a fucking gift, and I've got it. And to be able to say that with love, without arrogance.
Yeah.
And you've helped me be able to do that. So, you know, you've inspired me just as much as I've, you know, been your guide on this journey. So thank you for who you are as well.
Thank you.
And before we dive into like all the deeper spiritual stuff, let's just stay a little bit on the surface level in terms of like emotional eating and body image. How would you describe like your relationship with food now compared to maybe your mindset around it when we first started speaking?
I would say now it's much more allowing myself in a conscious way. So I ate chocolate 2 days ago, Lind, of course. And I mean, but I'm more in a state of pleasure instead of eating not like 5 in a row without having the pleasure.
Yes.
If that makes sense. And
so much sense.
So it's not like your way as well of coaching me that everything is okay as long as you are aware of what you like. You're making your own conscious. I have never heard about like this way of teaching about food and body, and like no one, Victoria. And I had a lot of personal trainers. It's a lot of like, don't do this, do this, these rules. And you know me, I rebel against rules.
Me too.
You too, of course. So I mean, the way you teach is for me like, I feel much more free around food and much more pleasure. And I will not say that. I mean, I also like a good glass of wine and bubbles. So in terms of that aspect with food, that combination, but I have detached myself from the bad stuff in terms of that. Okay, maybe I did that before because it's cheaper, or you know what I mean? Like it have to be good.
Yeah, I love that you've shared
taste
that.
good.
Taste good.
Yeah.
Freedom and pleasure, one of like two of my main values actually, and yours too. And I just want to touch on what you've said in terms of you've not heard this been shared before, because so many people, even unfortunately, emotional eating coaches say things like, go for a walk instead of eating the Lindt chocolate. And it's like, well, this actually restriction, it's a food rule. And so at some point you are going to rebel against that. So choosing consciously, you know, I fully believe that anything, all be that drugs, sex, alcohol, anything we choose consciously is medicine for us.
Yeah.
As long as it's consciously. And like, why do you think you went from eating like Lindt balls like in a row without really getting the pleasure from it, compared to now you own the choice, you have them, and you get all the maximum pleasure out of them, which is the whole point in having them in the first place?
I think for me, it was where I was at when we started. Of course, there was a lot of healing work to be done that I haven't done. And I think it was also to, you know, to feel some kind of pain that I had still in my body. And if I ate one, why can't I just eat one? This kind of addictive behavior that I have with a lot of stuff in my lives before. So and a lot from my growing up in terms of the dieting with my grandmother, my mother as well, like all this, you know, do you say
it's been passed down from generations, hasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and I don't want my kids to experience that. So they have also said to me, like, okay, you said that you were going to take one and now you're eating like most of whatever it is. So they could notice that, but they don't put a restriction around it or shaming me for doing it.
Yes.
Like, yeah,
that's the key, to allow, be conscious, and get the pleasure out of it. And then that's where the freedom happens.
Yeah.
And would you say that because you now allow, because you choose consciously, because you actually get the pleasure from it that you were seeking in the first place, would you say that you think about it often? Do you shame yourself about what you eat or don't eat anymore?
No, not much. It's more that I could feel I listen to my body, what it wants and desires. So the more the green choices, or however you would put it, the more
nourishing,
thank you, choices just pops up. Like that's on my mind now in also a conscious way that I like my body really desired that. And if I, for example, I eat more vegetable and stuff, but I also love meat. But what changed now, I had like a really good, like the cow, if I would put it like that, had gone out. No, you know, medicals and all this.
Yeah, so a cow was living freely on the land, eating grass as it's supposed to.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that taste, Victoria, oh my God. It was an expensive piece of, I was going to say meat, but
we can bring penis into it. Completely fine.
But it was like, now I can't eat anything else. Yeah. So would I eat it frequently? No, because it still have to be that, you know, in alignment. Yeah, I would say I eat more aligned now.
Yeah. I love that. And I love that you brought up the meat. And this is no judgment to anybody listening and watching at all. But in terms of meat, I don't really eat much meat, but that's my personal choice. And that's naturally, gradually happened for me throughout my food freedom journey. When we eat meat that is raised in cages, basically shitting on each other, it's awful, the conditions that they're in. We're eating the low vibration, the stress, the anxiety of that animal. Yeah, that's not even fed proper food. And it's not, ignorance is bliss, but unfortunately that's what we're buying most of the time, unless all we have to do, it does cost more, that's the thing, that's the only downside, is to buy free range organic meat, because there's a big difference. And also the vibration's higher, because as humans, you know, there's all kinds of debates around this, but I believe that humans are so adaptable. We can eat meat, we don't have to eat meat. There's no right or wrong way, but we eat meat in general, humans do. And so back in the day, and I know that's not how society is now, but we would have raised animals with love and fed them as nature intended, and then killed them with love and thanked them for their sacrifice to nourish us. Yeah. Now we just go to a supermarket, grab a plastic pack of chicken or beef without even thinking twice. And if in all honesty, if most of us stopped and thought where the piece of meat is in the packaging, where it's come from, how it's lived, most of us wouldn't eat it. We couldn't. No. So it's just making conscious choices without making yourself wrong or bad or anything like that. I will still have the odd burger sometimes where I have no idea where the meat's come from, but I choose that consciously, you know. I think it's all about the conscious choice and allowing yourself to experience the pleasure and listening to your body, as you so wisely shared. Yeah, and also I have felt that my body actually
the reason when I could feel pain in my body when I eaten something now, it's also because the body is kind of repelling. What are you doing to me? Like it's kind of talking to me. And before I of course denied listening to it. I mean, I say of course, because otherwise, I don't know, everything
most of us do. Most of us are living here in our heads. I mean, you weren't, but how would you, if you was to give listeners some advice on, say they're listening or watching and they're like, right, that all sounds well and good, but how the hell do we even start to, like, what does listen to your body mean in your personal experience? How did you start to like navigate that in terms of food and what to eat? When I make my food on the plate, it have to look really nice. I mean, kind of, my eyes need to look at something beautiful, not just food. That's important for me. So then automatically I start to eat slower because I want to enjoy it. And I could feel that my body is happy. I don't know, it's kind of, my soul is smiling. No, but, and when I eat something which, the candy you buy, for example, what do you call it in English? Well, it's sweets, isn't it? It's like, it's confectionery. We call like sweets,
and it's a lot of
sugar, colorful,
exactly,
bright colors and things like that.
When I eat that now, my body is kind of, it's in pain like this.
Wow.
And if this is interesting. Okay, maybe I shouldn't highlight clean chocolate. It doesn't.
I love chocolate. Isn't that? And I love.
Could you understand what? Like it's a difference.
Because chocolate is good for your body.
Yeah.
Else it would let you know that it's not good for your body.
Exactly. But the other, no. And I could still try to, like, since I am repelled, sometimes I'm like, okay, I try this. It's kind of seeing if something has changed.
Yeah.
But it hasn't. It's not good for my body. Like it's been telling me this for years. So
it's honoring that. And I'm glad also you've said that, because planet Earth is free will, as you know. And even when your body's like saying, hey, that's not feeling right, we still can choose to eat it, because our bodies isn't our slave, it's more of our life partner. So we can still choose to eat the thing that doesn't feel good. And that's on us, that's our responsibility. It's not that we're wrong, but again, we have to take responsibility for the consequences of probably not feeling great for a couple of hours or the next day. But your body is so wise, and it just sounds like you and your body now really have become so intimate, and you just know by looking at a food whether that feels right for you to eat or not.
And it have to taste like food.
Yes.
Whatever. If it is a tomato, it needs to taste like a tomato, not just this. It's kind of, I could feel the stress from some kind of food. I never thought about it until now. When you're talking about it like this, you could sense everything is energy, and I'm very in tuned into energies. I could, it's kind of.
I remember you sharing with me not long into coaching, and you bought, I think it was tomatoes or maybe strawberries, it was something red. You brought the organic version, and you said they tasted completely different. Was it tomatoes or strawberries?
I think it was tomatoes, but then I with your teaching, I have started to add blueberries and strawberries to kind of all my food. And I love it. I don't know, I love the taste of it. It might feel weird for some people, but try it.
Because you have eggs, blueberries, strawberries, salmon. And it looks such a beautiful, colorful plate.
And that's what the kids got this morning. They wanted fried eggs, so they got that, and they got like blueberries, strawberries, tomatoes. And Nora was like, my daughter was like, it looks like a smiley, mom.
Oh.
It's fun then.
Exactly. Fun, nourishing, pleasurable.
And
let's talk about your body. So I remember, again, you sharing with me, there was like a yoga pose, or there was some stiffness before, and then when you were doing all the releasing, you were like, oh my God, I can literally just move my body in that position now. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was sitting in I think it's the lotus position when you.
I can't do it, but
No, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
And I wasn't able, like my legs was up, high up from the ground before. And then when I was in London and you and me, like you were guiding me through a lot of codependency shit, to be honest, going on.
Yeah.
That was a quantum leap for, I don't know, 2 days. I mean,
2 days and you healed a lifetime
yeah,
of codependency that you kind of knew was there, but at the same time you didn't want to know it was there because the fear of breaking that bond and everything that comes with that. But as typical Jaya fashion, you went there.
Yeah, I did.
With my guidance, and then all of a sudden you could your legs could bend all sorts of crazy ways.
And I could sit and talk to you like in that position. And I could also see, I mean, I sent you photos as well, that because a lot of weight that I gain is around my stomach. It's around that chakra as well.
The safety chakra, yeah.
Exactly. And the energy, the blockages, when it released, the change and the transformation in my body was visible. Of course, I felt it, but I could also see it the first time I really could see it. Right now, I still have, I have a lovely stomach.
It's beautiful and it's cute and it's you and it's lovable.
But I also know that the more inner work I do and the more conscious I am about everything, it will it will live its own life. It's not, So I would say it's still, I mean, I still have some, it's not like everything is healed in terms of me feeling completely aligned with my stomach, for example. But now I know how to like make it feel with more, like give it more support and love and that kind of feeling. Yeah. So it's a dance, I would say.
It's a dance, and love heals everything.
Yeah.
And when we bring those aspects of ourselves that we don't like into the light, into the love, into the acceptance to start with, it no longer has that heavy, shameful feeling around it. Because if you think of like a dark room, you don't have to fight the darkness, you just turn the light on. Yes. And the darkness just disappears. So a lot of people are like, hate my body, want to change this, try and diet, like kind of try and wrestle themselves into being a quote better version of themselves physically, whatever the hell that even means, because society have brainwashed us, thin is better. Yes. When simply, if you just love it and accept it, then I love what you said, your body then just falls into its place and finds its balance and does what it does and how it's supposed to be. Yes, it's just bringing love, and that can be difficult because there's a lot of shame around those body parts. It is. But
and also, like you said, like who determines that we should look thin or thin or whatever? I love the body of a woman, and it's curvy and it's a body.
It's a real,
of course body. If you are slimmer at your body, that's also beautiful. So it's not to shame that, like,
yes
it's just the allowance, also women to women, I would say.
And before we get, because I would love for you to share with the listeners what you do, and I want to ask you a few questions around that. Yes. But kind of last question to wrap up, I guess, like the coaching kind of conversation.
Yes.
How did you feel about the financial aspect of coaching? Because, you've experienced this in your own business as well. Some women really want it. And then the financial aspect, even though they can make it happen, it stops them from going after what they want. How did you navigate that?
I mean, in terms of, I see it as an investment in myself. So, I mean, even if you get the money, for example, if this is answering your question, I'm just.
Yeah, because it's the money that I ask. I mean, it's a lot of money for some people wanting coaching, you know.
And I think like years back when I had my first coach, it was a huge barrier to go through. But once you did it once, you will never stop, I would say, if you are a conscious being who actually wants to expand and grow and heal. I mean, that's, and I think, for example, okay, I would say that, and I say that to everyone, raise your rates to everyone.
You even said that.
Yeah, I said that to you as well.
Was like, do you want me to pay you more? I was like,
yeah, but to be honest, and now I know that you will, like, because I'm not, like, our journey has just started. So, and I would say that money is energy. So, and you know this because we have been through that healing journey as well in terms of my self-sabotage around money. So, I mean, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, it's actually an investment in yourself. You have to look at that way. That's how I see it, in terms of giving away to someone else. Because I would never, okay, no, that's wrong. You will correct me. I know that. Okay, so I could have made the journey that I've been through with you these couple of months myself, but it would probably taking much longer time.
Yes.
And okay, time is now, that's a different subject or topic, but I'm on my mission. So I need to evolve quickly and make this quantum leap. So with your guidance, like it's a direct mirror energy going back to myself through you, of course, because you're the one who's helping me to navigate and guide me in the right direction. But it's an investment. And I mean, everyone needs a mentor or coach or whatever you want, healing, whatever, like whatever you will call it. It's just a name, I would say. I mean, you have as well.
Oh, absolutely. I have Wouter, my fiance, he has, my coach's coach has, and you know, it's I guess I want to say it's a luxury to have a coach or a mentor, but at the same time, it's necessary if, like you said, you want to grow, evolve. I work with women who are in a lot of pain around binge eating and you know, all that body hate. Like, do you want to stay in that pain and maybe work it out by yourself and probably maybe not? Or do you want to invest, which is fucking scary because you think, is it going to work for me? It's scary. And then change your whole entire life and then your children's life, because you remove all this lineage and patterns and blockages. And one of the things I love about you, and that was before you and I even worked together, because as you've shared, we were sisters and we met already previously in a container. You were always investing in yourself with something to grow, because you have a goal and you have a mission. And you know, the best way to get there is by getting support. It's like the quickest and most painless way. It's not pain-free. It's less pain to go through it with support than trying to figure it out by yourself.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think it's very rare for people to do the deep dive themselves, to hold themselves accountable to, I mean, in that journey as well. And for me, it's all about the soul journey. So I think it's difficult because we've been so conditioned in this society. So, and what you also like, now I know more about your story. I didn't even know the whole full story signing up with you, because I didn't need that, because my soul and my heart knew that you were the right one for me. And that's also something I would like to say, and we share this in common as well. I think that if someone is not right for me, they might be right for you. If someone is not right for you, you have other mentors or coaches to also.
Exactly. Yes. There's someone for everyone.
Yeah.
There really is. And for us to be ourselves fully, unapologetically, not everyone's going to like you. And
No.
that's a good thing, because not everyone can like you, because, you know, talking of like a cup, the way you make a cup of tea, especially being English, like we have milk in it and all the weird other things in it. Like people have different types of milk, different amounts of milk, how long the tea bags. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, because everyone likes a different cup of tea.
Yes.
And that's perfect.
It
So
is.
yeah, what do you do in the world? And obviously I know this, and before we press record, you already just landed with like a, oh my God, mind-blowing moment in terms of color.
Yeah.
So tell us what you do, how you help, because you work with men and women, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do.
Yeah.
And currently more men, to be honest, which I love. I work with clothes and with bringing out your inner essence into the clothing. So I don't, to be honest, I'm not a fashion guru or something like. I'm not a guru anyway. The guru's time is over, but that's something else. But I work with actually activate your soul into, to help you to really stand in your own truth and power from within, but out in the expression of the clothing.
Yes.
Because clothes are very like energetic, and it's also very important. And you don't necessarily have to be a person who loves fashion or is interested in clothes. It's not about that. But everyone that I talk to loves to have the feeling of feeling that they look nice, like the appearance, whatever that will be. It's also personal. I mean, as it should be.
Yeah.
I don't like
love
the rules.
that. So just share with them what you shared, because those of you that are listening to the podcast, if you want to go and check out the YouTube where you can see me and Jaya on camera and see what we're wearing. I mean, this is quite cute. Look, it's got like a little,
yeah, I love it.
thing. It's a bit young, I guess, but I'm feeling young vibe. I'm in my spring, so I'm coming up to ovulation. So I'm literally like, in fact, TMI, but people know me. I messaged Val this morning, like, get upstairs now.
Yeah.
Like my ovulations, like everything's happening in my body. I feel like Beyonce, but I know that this will pass, because when it comes to my winter or my fall, when I'm starting to bleed, I will not be wearing a dress like this. I'll be honoring my cycle, and I'll be just like, yeah, don't touch me.
If you are having that, then I'm probably had that this night as well.
You actually did, didn't you?
Yeah, I think
We're
so.
so
Oh my God. Yeah.
Look at us both.
Yeah, because what happens for me this night? Yeah, you're right. Okay, so what was your question?
I don't even know how I got into sex and holiness here. Oh yeah, in terms of like honoring your energy and honoring your style, and you shared something before we press recorded about the color you was wearing.
Oh yes, so I will share my conscious kind of way of dressing today. When I knew that I was going to record this podcast with you, Victoria, I always pick out the right lingerie, which is very important, both for men and women, like the boxer shorts or whatever a man will have, but for women as well, that I choose black today, because black is, that color is the energy that you have, or the energies out there, you're actually absorbing the energy. So I wanted your energy, like I wanted to absorb all of your energy, because your energy is going through me and back to you. That's how we work together. And I wanted that. And instead of wearing white, for example, which is repelling others' energy, so you could stand more in your love and light. So for example, I just actually was taught this as well recently. And if you think about a funeral, why are people dressed in black? You could imagine how much energy they are actually absorbing of grief, of lower vibration, of like people are sitting there in their own pain, instead of really honoring the person who has died and wear white. So just so you know, the day I will die, I will have like white for sure for everyone, or maybe like rainbow colors.
Yeah, wow, that is, yeah, it just takes it to a whole new level,
Yeah.
doesn't it? So what would red symbolize? Because I have red underwear on right
Yeah,
now.
red is a lot about passion.
Mhm.
And it's not like, also we've been taught that that's, kind of a color you shouldn't wear for underwear, and a lot of this BS, I would
Unless you
say.
want to have sex that day or
Exactly.
something.
Yeah. But I mean, if your feeling is, because I also have, of course, right, I have kind of all
All the colors.
yeah, I do. So if you feel powerful, I feel also powerful when I wear red. I mean, I assume that you also put it on for yourself first.
Oh yeah, sometimes he doesn't have even a clue what I'm wearing as underwear is for me.
And that's what everyone should feel, I would say. That it's for you. It's not for someone else out there. It's for you. Because if you feel, I mean, that's the clothes that we have, the closest to your body. You don't say that now, it's Swinglish.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. It's your underwear, isn't it? So it's very intimate.
And it's energy. So what kind of energy would you like to send out?
Yes.
In order to manifest it back to yourself. So I mean, yeah, it is important.
So important. And it's a thing that, we don't think about.
No.
How would you help someone? So I'm thinking of me, although I have got a little better with Wouter's guidance because he randomly bought me these colourful clothes, which I love. But say if someone came to you and they really didn't know, I mean, I say we didn't know, of course we know somewhere, but that's what you activate to bring it out.
Yeah.
And they really have it, and they're like, right, yeah, I have no, if you said to me, what fashion do you like? And I was like, I have absolutely no idea. How would you help coax that out of them so without recommending things in persuasion, so they choose, but when they haven't got a clue? How do you do that?
I mean, I always start to have a conversation, and that is where the activation of the soul take place. So I ask just questions that is about you and your background. The thing is, Victoria, and I think this resonates with you as well, that I rarely have to ask so many questions in the beginning, because the other person is always revealing stuff they have never shared before. And it's deep stuff. It's traumas. It's childhood stuff. And that's because I'm also energy healer, but as you know, I'm healing myself. So I mean,
we all are. I am still,
Yeah. So that person is also like, my energy is just activating. That's so. What I know that I'm, my superpower is also to make someone feel comfortable into their own skin, meeting me and being around me, and then they start to share stuff. And when they share stuff from their traumas and then we are going more into that, I could really ask questions about now and how they want to see themselves in their profession or in their role or whatever, like if it is being a mother, being a spouse, being like the person they are. But most of the time they might know that they might have done a lot of soul healing as well, soul work, but they can't put it together, like where they're heading. So it's actually for me to somehow, I don't know how to say it, but I use my emotional intelligence and my IQ to like tune in. And then my brain start to work like this. Like I combine everything you say very rapidly to have a visualization where you're heading. And then I just know, I don't know how to say, I kind of know what kind of clothes might fit, but it's up to you to say yes to you. You know what I mean? I would never ever suggest something and you say, yeah, this it doesn't resonate with me. I don't want to wear blue, for example. This is not me. Okay, then it's not you.
I love how it is so much more than the clothing.
Yeah.
It's all about the clothing, but at the same time, it's nothing about the clothing. It's similar to like me. It's about the food, but at the same time, it's definitely not about the food.
Yeah.
So how do you work with people, men, women? Because I know you're in Sweden.
Yeah.
I know that you're in London and you're everywhere and you're going to be everywhere. But
yeah,
how can people work with you virtually? I would say.
I just launched a 3-month course or method. So that is digital or online. So that's one way of working with me. And you just you get not only like the clothing part, it's a lot of like mindset, conscious parenting, energies, and other stuff as well. And then I also have my one-to-one clients. So I have them online, which is a 6 months program or
container, if you like.
Yeah, container, because to be honest, I don't work with my own strategies. I tune in a lot where the people are at and where they're heading. And it's a lot of soul work and energetic. And then the last thing is clothing. But
yes,
I have to like heal a lot first. And that guidance, I love that part as well. And then I also have that, but when I could physically meet them. So right now it's clients living here in Stockholm, Sweden, but now I recently have one dream client, I would say, that he will be based in Barcelona, and I have clients coming up in London as well, and so on. So I will go to them as well. Like that's part of my mission as well. And then I figured out some of them, like how to do it as well and navigate. I mean, maybe one part will be physical and the other ones will be online.
Yeah. So freaking powerful.
I'm very open there, I would say, when it comes to that. So, but of course, then it's a different rate as well.
Of course it is. If you're flying to them. Yeah. So if someone wanted to get in touch with you, how can they do that? To ask a question or to learn more?
They could definitely go into my website and or Instagram or Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn, and then I have Pinterest and TikTok. So it's all over the place there. But where I'm most frequently is Instagram. They could learn a lot about my story as well. On my website, I have very long, like, my story. I shared a lot of why I started my brand as well, like with Empowered by Jaya, which is also about clothing, but how it started and so on. So you could read
because as we're having this conversation, and of course we're going to mirror each other because it makes sense with how we feel about each other. Yeah. But it's like you have like the clothing, and on the surface level, people might try and change the clothes to feel better, but it goes way deeper than that, right to the root, and then inwards, outwards. I have the food and body stuff. Most people try to change their diet, stop binge eating, which doesn't ever work when you try and stop it, and then changing their behaviors. But we need to go a hell of a lot deeper than that to change, to heal, to release, to create an identity. And then again, it heals from the outside in. So I think we're both in so much alignment in terms of what we do and how we help people. It's just yours is clothing and mine's food and body.
Exactly. And both of us are working with the root causes. That's also important. Like the healing I've done with you is to the root causes. It's not some like treating the symptoms BS, to be honest. I'm sorry, but that's
Amen. It's not like I was saying, well, instead of having 10 lint balls, you've only got to have 5. I mean, that's on the behavioral level. It's not about that. It doesn't work.
Yeah. So you have to raise your rates.
Well, there you go, ladies. She's the queen has spoken, and she's paid my rate. So, and you too. And I know you have.
I expect to pay more next time, Victoria. I do. Double
That's
up.
interesting. I mean, yeah, it's been a pleasure having this conversation. It's been an honor to, I want to say, coach you, to be your guide. It's even more of an honor to just be your sister and your friend, and just have you in my life. So thank you so much for your energy today. I love and adore you so much.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And you know, I mirror back like everything. I mean, you're amazing and so powerful. Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anything you would like to share with our listeners? Anything you'd like to say, leave them with?
This might be a reflection through both of us, I would say, but that when you are doing the deep healing work and soul work, I mean, we have everything. We don't need anyone else, but I desire other beautiful humans in my life, but I actually only need myself.
Yes.
That's the takeaway working with you as well, I would say.
The perfect way to end this beautiful conversation. Everything that we ever need is already within us. It's already there. We are the source of what we say we lack.
Yeah.
We're the source of that. So, thank you again, sister.
Thank you.
Thank you, listeners. Thank you, watchers. And I will see you on the next one.